Well, it's time for our market updates. Because every day we are joined by the portfolio manager of Herenia Capital Advisors, PETRI Redelighuys, to give us our daily market updates. PETRI, good afternoon, and thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
No, it's an absolute
pleasure. Can I just sort of jump straight into it?
I leave the floor to you, PETRI.
All right, great stuff. So a bit of a disappointing day, really. Our market actually underperformed yesterday quite a bit compared to the rest of the world, right? The rest of the world markets actually did relatively well, and our market came under quite a bit of pressure. I think perhaps unduly so, and that hasn't really changed much, to tell you the truth. US markets ended up having a very strong session last night, as did European markets. We know that yesterday sort of Asian markets started off on the back foot, but the US finished on strong form, so it was a really sort of decent day. Our market today hasn't really followed through with that, and it seems as though there's a little bit of wishy-washiness coming into the market, or I mean, put a different way, maybe that markets have just run out of a bit of momentum, right? So a lot of that strength that we saw yesterday has dissipated a little bit. So I'm going to start with the offshore world and work my way to South Africa, as opposed to the other way around. So starting with Europe, the FTSE 100 index is positive by 0.25%, while in Germany the DAX is unchanged on the day. French market CAC 40 index is down just over 1/3%. So I guess that goes to show what the mood is out there. It's very uncertain, very sort of directionless, right? In the US, the S&P 500 is also flat at this stage. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down by around 0.2%, while the NASDAQ is up by around 0.25%. So much as the same as is the case in Europe. And if you look at how we traded, top 40 index down currently around 0.25%. Resource 20 index up 2/3%, which is all right, I suppose. Industrial 25 index down 0.8%. Financial 15 down 2/3%. Precious metals and mining index down just over 0.5%, and the retailers index down 1.5%. So more pain, I guess, for the retailers, or at least in our retailer sector. And our market is really underperforming the rest of the world. I guess, you know, it's a bit of a mixed bag of market performance out there, but you know, that's the second day in a row now that our market has really sort of underperformed the rest of the peers. And I think a lot of that has to do with, I guess, you know, still hangover from the FOMC, a little bit of fear creeping into markets. Yesterday, we saw a bit of a bounce. Whether or not that was just a relief bounce or not, I guess time will tell. I'm of the view that the trend is still solidly up. The market at some point is going to wake up and go, wait a minute, the Fed is still printing huge amounts of money. And it's going to sort of keep rallying until we start seeing some monetary tightening down the road. So this does provide, I guess, an opportunity for you know, entry points into the market, which is great. But it is a bit disappointing to see our market trade as poorly as it has. And you know, interestingly enough, the rand also giving up a little bit of ground today. Yesterday it fought back some, but today giving back much of the gains yesterday. Obviously, last week we ended around 14.32. We're currently trading at 14.34, so we're about 0.8% weaker from yesterday, as we closed the day yesterday closer to 14.23. So we've given up most of the ground that we made yesterday. Same with the euro, as we're about 0.75% weaker versus the euro, back above 17, currently trading 17.08, and 0.6% weaker versus the pound at 19.94, or 19 rand 94 cents. Commodity prices, gold retreating a bit today, about 1/3% lower, trading at $1,776 a fine ounce. Platinum price is up around 0.6% at $1,056.70 a fine ounce. Brent crude oil, man, you can't keep it down. Hey, I think we've spoken about this in the past. Oil prices, you know, energy prices in general doing relatively well. Brent crude up 0.2% today, so not massively so, but back above $75, $75.06 at the moment as it trades in London. Its US counterpart, West Texas Intermediate crude oil, up around 1/3% as well, trading $73.38 a barrel in Chicago on the Chicago Board of Trade at this stage. So energy prices looking good, markets kind of wishy-washy, and the rand on the back foot. I guess it's been a strange day. It's been a strange start to the week. I'm hoping that we do get a little bit of strength coming into the second half. You know, if there is protracted weakness, I guess it is a good opportunity to buy some good quality long-term stuff.
Petri Redingling-Hayes from Herenia Capital Advisors. We say thank you so much for your market update, and we will definitely see you again tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You have a great day also. Petri Redingling-Hayes giving us our daily market update.